Never date or marry a poor white man as a woman who is non-white. If you are black or Asian, you should never in this world contemplate dating a poor white man. And let's clarify what I mean by poor. I mean poor, one, in the sense of financially. Never ever date a white man who is poorer than you are. If he has less money than you, stay away from him. And I also mean poor in the sense of class and values. If that man is not within your class and you are having to step down a couple of rungs so that you can marry him and you want to put his whiteness on a pedestal, run. Run, because we need to talk about this. Project U 7.0 is the one where you miss the hurdles where the ladies fall down at in putting a white man on a pedestal and actually not looking at whether he truly has money, whether his character is truly together, and whether or not he is of the same class as you or a higher class. On this earth, this is so important for you not to do. I would also say if you're a white woman, why on earth would you date a poor white man of low class, low values, low financial? Just don't do it. Every woman should date with hypergamy in mind, and especially as a non-white woman. If you are black, if you're Asian, if you're Hispanic, if you are not white, you date hypergamy in mind. That man's whiteness has nothing to do with you. And it has nothing to do with you because what you need to look at are his finances. What you need to look at are his values. What you need to look at is his social status. A lot of women, unfortunately, fall victim to dating poor white men and then they get humbled. Because I promise you, not in all circumstances, but in a majority of circumstances, there is going to be a clash. And that man's white superiority may kick in and wonder, who do you think you are, woman? You are black, you are Asian, you are earning more than me, you are of a higher class than me. And he will humble you. And he will humble you by, one, disrespecting you, not being faithful, disrespecting you by making you the load carrier and load bearer of the household. You're basically a working wife slave. That's how he will humble you. You carry the load. And this is the hurdle you avoid whereby you do not become that woman. It's so important when it comes to dating and marriage, you do so with your eyes open. I would always say when you follow the rules of God, it is so hard to fall victim of these things because the rules of God, a man should provide. It is not an if, it is not a but, it is not a maybe. And I even have mentioned this before, darlings. The Lord says there will be a day that women will be so desperate, they will say, let me buy my own clothes, let me buy my own everything, just to say, I've got your surname. That's not you. You are not going to fall in the category of desperateness. And whilst we're at it, please let me know where in the world you're tuning in from, because part of Project U, I want us to reach women, whether you're in Trinidad, whether you're in Nigeria, whether you're in Cameroon, South Africa, Haiti, wherever you are. I want us to reach a global audience. So let me know where you're tuning in from. Back to our topic at hand. I think it's important to understand the fundamental dynamics between a white and a black woman. And this is me not saying don't date a white man. Absolutely, do date a white man who is of a high social class than you, who has the ability to financially provide for you, who has the ability to look after you and cherish you. Absolutely do that. I'm not here to say do not date anyone of any race. Absolutely not. We are all like God's children. Date away, but date where you're being provided for. And this hurdle is the one whereby you need to make sure that man is not of a lower class than you. I recall when I was in the dating pool, the dating space, I remember dating someone, and I would say it was a couple of dates, and I had to be brutal. I went to this individual's house. We weren't doing any house dinners or anything. No. Raise thy standards. But it was so that we could drive to X, Y, and Z. Anyway, and at that point, I knew we weren't at the same level. We just weren't at the same level. And I'm really grateful, and I'm so brutal. That was the second and last date. I'm so brutal, I cut it off. Like, I didn't have time to waste in knowing that someone isn't right for me, because dating someone who is of a lower social class than you doesn't work. In any race, even if you're the same race, it doesn't work. There is always going to be a clash, but I think the clash is greater when you're of a different race, because men are built in such a way whereby they are to be the head. They're built in such a way that you are to, quote unquote, look up to them. They're the leader, they're the driver. So if you put yourself in a position where you're having to step down a couple of rungs to date a white man, his head won't be able to get around it. Any man's head cannot get around dating a woman who is of a higher social class, who has more money, let alone a white man. And I think this is something that's so important to talk about, because society likes to sugarcoat this stuff. They don't like to say the uncomfortable truths. So avoid this pitfall at all costs when it comes to dating for marriage, when it comes to relationships. Poor white men that are lower than you, avoid. There is a woman that is well suited to that man, who he won't be a poor white man to her. He will be Prince Charming on a white horse coming to save her. That's what he'll be to her. But you, if you have your degree, your master's, and here you are dating a man that hasn't even completed school. Here you are dating a man that doesn't own his own home. Here you are dating a man that is still in the tax bracket of 20,000. Avoid at all costs. But if you're a woman, let's say, from the village, and that man has great values and he can provide and do all of those things, please go ahead and date, because he is elevating you. Hypergamy should be at the forefront of your mind. Values, and I don't mean just hypergamy in financial sense, his values, his morals, the way he goes. And this is why I say social class as well. A man who barks at waiters is of low social class. Avoid them at all costs. A man who is rude to the flight attendant, to the door person, low social class. Avoid them at all costs. These are the things that you're looking at, because character is key, and a poor person has bad character. And when I mean poor, I'm not talking financially. You are poor in many sense. You're poor in your mind, you're poor in financial sense, you're poor in your characteristics and values. And what you're looking to assess is, am I making the mistake of dating a poor white man? Because if it won't work. Let me know in the comments what you think. And Project You is a space all the time where we have to talk about the uncomfortables, because we do live in a world that wants to sugarcoat things. But this is a space where you get to be your best version of you by saying the truth and avoiding the pitfalls.